Hey everybody, it's Sunday afternoon. It's Peter, and I'm back to talk about episode 100 of Person of Interest that aired on last Tuesday, May 31st. Finch's number comes up, and you don't know if he is the victim or the perpetrator like they do in every episode. He actually comes across as the victim, as it looks like Samaritan is running after Finch, and the gang has to try and help him and save the day and keep Finch out of trouble and out of the clutches of Greer and Samaritan, because you don't know what they're going to do. So that's the majority of the episodes. Basically, it's just a chase episode. They're running across town, around town, avoiding tons of gunfire, and that's one of my first pet peeves of this episode. And actually, of all of season 5 so far, anything involving Samaritan, in the fact that anytime the Samaritan goons show up, I call them the GQ squad. Basically, all these guys in really nice looking suits, showing up armed to the teeth, as if they're some kind of military hit squad in downtown New York, which is really weird. And the amount of firepower in this episode is basically totally ridiculous in my books. Being a military man myself, and I did time. Something like this is not going to go unnoticed in a public forum. Basically, these guys show up. There was one scene where the guy was carrying an M60, the same thing if you watch the old Rambo movies, he's going like, "Ah!" Shortly after that, too, an SUV pulls out. The thing opens up, out comes the machine gun, and it's what they call a minigun. Usually they're mounted on, you know, armored vehicles, attack helicopters. An episode of Mythbusters that, Carrie Byron was shooting one off. They were shooting this in a firefight between Root and Shaw, pinned down behind a car. Now, while all this shooting is going on, and for almost, I'd say, half of the episode, where are the police? Where's the SWAT teams? There should be like all over this, or Samaritan had this much control at this point that they can just, say, oh no, that's nothing. That's just, kids with firecrackers, that kind of thing. Don't worry about it. And the only time the police do show up is in the middle of a getaway with Finch and Root driving down the road. They just got shot at. Root did get hit. Anyway, and Samaritan had somehow found a rent-a-sniper and gave him directions that he's going like, turn left, turn right, you will stop here, you will go up there. And the guy puts his rifle together, like the professional, and finds a vantage point and shoots them, and Root gets hit. You find out later in the episode, spoilers, that Root dies from her wounds. And that was the one thing. To me, Person of Interest, especially now on the local space channel here, they've been doing the reruns of season 1 to season 4. What I liked about the original first season and even the pilot, even though John was beating up guys and he'd kneecap people and things like that, but it wasn't the whole part of the story. I expect this kind of firefight in Expendables 3. Oh yes, I expect guns and people running around and I'm going to shoot everybody. But in Person of Interest, this is not what I expect. I expect a well-written story, intrigue. People remember what intrigue is? Thrillers. Do we go around that corner? What's going to happen? Or I love the earlier episodes where the pilot, the poor lawyer that works for the government. I forget what her position was. If she's was a DA or whatever, and they thought, oh, she's the victim. Oh no, Twilight Zone twist. After Act 2, she's actually orchestrating all this, and the cops are working for her, and she's not. The poor little damsel. She's actually the bad guy running everything, and John almost got killed for it. And those episodes, what I found, it was always interesting. You didn't know what was going to happen. You thought, like, a really good story, like maybe this person's doing something. Or I saw the episode again where the doctor, you thought she's being chased by some guy who likes drugging women. He's some asshole from Wall Street. And you find in the end that actually a friend of hers was a victim of him, and she was going to be the perpetrator. And she left the episode, him talking to the actual perpetrator, saying, if I let you go, you may go and do and maybe rape and abuse women again, but to help society and help the world, I may kill you. But and the guy's like, oh, don't shoot me, I can turn. And the punchline of that episode was John just says, help me make a good choice. Those are the episodes I really love. Like I said, some season 4 episodes, as I said previously, they are slipping. And this half the episode, like I said, is a firefight. Person of interest. I'm losing interest in person of interest. And in that one too, Elias said, "Oh, I will take Finch." So they all break up for the group. Fusco goes with Reese, and they go to this. Everybody has these business cards, the GQ guys, and it's a fictitious name of an office. So they said, "Okay, we'll hit up the office, find out who's running things, and try to shut down Samaritan from that angle." Uh, Shaw and Root, for whatever reason, they're just trying to hold off the Samaritan goons from the safe house that is now compromised. And Elias says, "I will take Finch. I owe him my life, so I will help Finch." So they go back to the old neighborhood where they found Elias in season 1, where he was the school teacher. The key point of the episode is that Samaritan was watching so much that things that were not happening normally or out of routine, then that would flag Samaritan. So it wasn't looking for the people specifically. The reason Finch actually got caught by Samaritan, or his number came up, was because he had gone to an old coffee shop he used to take Grace to pick up a coffee when they dated, and he went there, and Samaritan probably went like, "Oh, this character does not normally go there. Oh, that might be the person I'm looking for on my records," and that's how the episode sort of begins. Samaritan shows up at the block neighborhood because there's 2 gang factions there that Elias says, "Well, can you guys just calm down for today, help me, guard this area, because there'll be some bad men showing up, and because they're not normally fighting amongst themselves." Samaritan thinks, "Oh, there's something out of the ordinary. Let's send the goon squad out. They shoot up the place." So the episode ends up with, while Elias is trying to protect Finch, one of the GQ guys show up at the getaway car and shoots Elias right in the forehead. So he's not walking away from that one. They grab Finch, take him to Greer, and Greer just says, "Yes, we're not going to kill it or anything, but we see in the future that you will be working for Samaritan someday," that kind of thing. And then later on, somewhere along the, oh yes, after the cops catch Root, take her to the hospital. Anyway, to wrap things up, particularly, I'm finding that it's totally gone off course, if you want to say it like that. I'm just finding the show is going in a totally different direction than it was originally started with. I mean, there's going to be another 3-4 episodes, and then that's the end of the season. The way the series is going, I'm kind of glad they're putting it to bed. This is one show. I'm glad it's stopping. The first 3 seasons were really good, but yeah, this one I just had to say something because it was like too much. It was like gunshots and this and that. And like, this is not person of interest. It wasn't a thinking episode. And the other thing too was the weird thing. Shaw and Root had an existential conversation about Schrodinger theorems while being shot at. And I'm like, this is not the place to be doing that. Root's like, "Shaw, I will help you with your problems." And if you look at Schrodinger, so he's like, "Dude, can we talk about this like after the firefight? Like maybe when we're having a beer or coffee and we settle down, not in the middle of all this, please and thank you." So yeah, so if anybody watches this, tell me what hit like, subscribe, tell me your thoughts, what you thought of episode 100, and we'll see you around. And everybody take it easy. Okay, see ya.